Hello and welcome to Live at Lunch on this Thursday, the 24th of August. We have got a file that you can download to engage in this activity, and I've got the link on the screen, and I have sent it out to everyone who is connected in and registered for our Live at Lunch sessions. So welcome. So today we are looking at the 7 steps of intention, and it's really focused on a strategy to achieve your goals in a really intensive way. And I think particularly if you've got a blockage with a goal that you're wanting to achieve, that this can be a way to get you through. So we're giving you sort of 7 tools to get you going. So my name is Vivian Evans, and I host the Live at Lunch each week on a Thursday. And part of the 7 steps is part of something that I'm learning. I'm studying coaching, life coaching, and a workshop that I was involved in some time back with my research really captured. I thought it was a really useful tool, or actually a set of tools. I've called it the 7 steps of intentions, and in this presentation I'm sharing how the different ways that I use those 7 steps for actually achieving my goal. Now, this screen shows numbers. It actually isn't really about which one is important, and they're all important. So although they've got, it's just a way. I was trying to get an image that we could show this, and this is the best I could find. I need to potentially keep working on that. And so I'm going to share that, and you could adapt it to your own goal. So the handout that I've encouraged you to engage with is this 7 steps of intention. I've actually listed out the 7 steps, and you could write your own notes. So fantastic for if you're live now or if you're watching the recording. So I really want you to think about your own goal when I'm sharing mine and how I work through it. So sometimes goals can be really huge, and it's about getting on track. And this image was actually in the template for the PowerPoint, and I thought, well, what a great image, because it's about nibbling away. This caterpillar's goal is to keep chipping away at the leaf. And for me, it's about, in my example today, is me studying and getting through a qualification and juggling a busy life with business, establishment, volunteering, my family, and just other activities that I'm involved in. And what I found was that my study, because it was distance learning and not always set, at class set times, that it really needed, I found myself too busy. So I needed to look at specific deadlines and strategies that I could use. So this is what I'm sharing, and you're welcome to share in the chat what goal you're thinking of. Consider that. So let's explore the steps. So the first step, or one of the steps, is proactive self-talk. So to become really aware of what you're telling yourself. So here's a quote: "As the thinker thinks, the prover proves." So if you think you're unorganised, then you're going to prove to yourself all the different ways that you're unorganised. So we need to flip that talk, and there is what's called a bedtime story, which I really liked with what I was learning. So it's blame, excuse, denial. Blaming something external as to why you haven't been, getting to your study, blaming somebody else, blaming an activity, blaming, whatever you're deluged with, and having excuses, and then just sort of denying it. So it's the bedtime story. So we need to work on that and work on it being a flip to the positive and change it. And I've deliberately flipped the image as well, same image. I am organised. So get into that positive mode and flip it. So even if you don't really feel like it, you feel like you're unorganised, well, change that. Say you're organised. Say things like, I have, you got to relate it to your own goal. So I have good study habits. My workspace is tidy. I am organised. I make time for my studies every morning. And how can you flip that for your own actual goal? So think about some positives that you can share. So the next thing, so you got your self-talk, then the next thing is to actually make it visual. And we keep using this word proactive. So it's about actively engaging it, being positive about it. So here I have my sign that I put up in front of my desk that I would see. You are organised. I'm telling myself that I am. And display that positive affirmation. So there could be all sorts of ways that you could do positive. If you had a goal of just drinking more water, so you can have it in the I or the you. There's a bit of discussion as to about that. So you could say, I am organised. And so I drink water. I drink 2 litres of water every day. So have that positive. So it can be a big goal, or it could be even a simple one, and display it. And the law of attraction will bring that to make it happen for you. So you can have really good, you can align that affirmation with pictures, look at the physical world around you. Now, what I've got here is an image on the top. Let me see if I can get my little pointer going. Whoops. So there we have the bit of a messy desk. If I'm wanting to tell myself that I am organised, I've tidied up, put things away, and given myself that image. So there's that mental image, the visual image of not only the signage, but what I'm seeing around at my desk too. So that bottom one looks far more organised. And what it does is it manifests in and activates your reticular activating system. So that was a new term that I've learned. And that's the link between your conscious and your subconscious. So if you actually have those there, you start to, so if you have a messy desk, you have a messy mind, you're feeling unorganised. So change that around. And even if it's just that space where you're working, changing that. And I've also had here things that I wanted to happen on a daily basis. And I use metal magnets or little magnets, and they're plastic actually, but magnets as well, and then have ticks on them. And so I'd move them across and have them in a spot, just in a space. And as I did them, I would tick them off. Now this comes to another one of the 7 steps, and we'll come back to that later in terms of like exercise and the meditation. So I've just got it that I do a little bit of tidying, outdoors, gardening, just doing a mix. Plus this LCA is my Life Coaching Academy, so where I'm studying. So I have those so I could tick off and feel like I was doing. I must have given myself a double tick that day because I did some extra stuff. Okay. So not only with the visual is those sorts of things, but also I created a calendar, which was another visual for me. So put in the dates, and this is going back to January. And for some reason, I've got 2016. It should be 2017. So early change of the calendar. I haven't clicked over to the new year. But there it is. So this photo was taken, and I was ticking off, and this photo was taken on the 20th. So I actually was really well on track there. And that list of all the different topics and listening to what were different webinars and recordings and then writing a report was what I was, and so I tracked forward. So again, another visual. Another way that you can do that visual step is to have vision boards or mind maps. So there's all sorts of ways. I've just got some samples here of, now these are more generalised, but you could actually have, things specifically about your goal that you want to be. So you could have a vision board of your coach. For me, it could be having coaching and things like that happening. So, but there's all sorts of ways and goals, and I just wanted to show you that as a different way. Bit of fun. Here, we actually put a selfie in the middle and have you in the middle. So we have myself and Rebel Black and her, where her goals are heading to. So that's it. That was our step 2, proactive. So you might consider sharing some of the ways that you could be proactive. So there were lots there. Okay, step 3 is proactive mental food. So that's things that feed your mind with positive affirmations, and so it's about, it could be books, magazines, it could be TED Talks, it could be webinars, blogs, podcasts, all sorts of things that feed your proactive mental. So yeah, the thinking, getting you feeling positive. So I ordered these 2 books as a sample of me getting forward, focusing. I've actually done a lot more from that deep work. It's been fantastic. I ended up doing it as a book review, and so both those 2, so part of my study, but that was great that worked hand in hand with my goals. So certainly the deep work was my favourite. And I'm actually talking about deep work next week in the Live at Lunch and focusing on that, some great, fantastic tools. And I'm looking at a course for that as well, developing a course, because it just made so much of a difference to me. So, yeah. So I put my study as the first thing at my desk without connecting to the phone and the internet. I used my computer to play the download recordings, and then was able to write up the notes before I got distracted by messages and emails and Facebook. So this mental food really helped me. So it's a good idea to think and reflect on that proactive mental food as well. And yeah, so seek out and engage with effective and positive mental food. It may not always be directly connected with your goal, but it's about being positive and proactive with that. Okay, so the next one is to consider people. Look around you. Are those people around you nurturing and supportive of your goal? Maybe you need to seek out some people, seek out the nurturers if you've got some negative people, and sometimes they can be close and at home and you can't always step away, but maybe look at, so it's about finding your tribe. So it could be an online group that might connect you with people. You could use a coach. So that could be a way that you're, so I've actually got images here of 2 women that have been my coaches in the past and recently and connected with. So, and then try and remove those energy vampires, those people that are negative. Can't always disconnect, but you can try and see, even if you're aware of them, and so look for those people who will support you. Build relationships to nurture you, and a tip from one of my coaching teachers is to make sure you know what you're looking for. So who are you seeking out? So recently I had people involved in the Coonabarabran was involved in the Healthy Town Challenge, and the challenge is bringing together people, support networks, phone coaching, and different people. So that built a tribe and drawing together people who were involved in the Healthy Town Challenge. So people could walk, do yoga classes, do all sorts of things. So look out for role models. I've got an image here of guiding, so you can have role models for women and for youth. So they could be your nurturers. There's all sorts of ways that you could connect and have proactive people around you. So yeah, I've got here honesty time. I didn't seek out, and really should have, through my personal goal with the study. I didn't connect in with people who were studying and doing the same course. And I had a group. I had a closed group I was part of, and I could have called on those people. So connecting, you might have someone else that you're studying with that you could, be someone that you could check in and be engaged with. So how, I could have had someone that was just asking, how are you going with your study plan? What did you enjoy today? So connecting with that. I did reach out to the course advisor at the start to make a commitment, so that was a great way to do it. And I did get feedback from the teachers who were completing the work. But on reflection, I could have tapped in more into that Facebook group, had connections with 2 other people that were ahead of me, and I could have had that. I suppose I felt a bit guilty that I was behind over that Christmas break and felt that was my own thing about feeling guilty, whereas if I'd let them know, I'm sure they would have been really supportive of me and encouraging. So it could be a study buddy, engaging again with a coach could be, or a mentor. So yeah, that's something that really could work. So I think with these 7 steps, you're choosing a big goal and then keep working forward and evolving. So far we've looked at self-talk, we've looked at visualization, we've looked at mental food, and we've looked at people. So 3 more tools to help us reach the goals. So proactive development. So that's about building on the proactive people you're connecting with, valuing your worthiness, valuing your own goals. Are they in alignment with what you really want to do? Sometimes you can start with a lot of courses but don't finish. So what's happening there? Is it really what you want to do? Grow who you are, grow your mental fitness. Who are your role models? Are you hero worshipping people? I mean, people are always human. So take on the good aspects that you want to model on. You don't have to be exactly like them. It's about being who you are. So pick the pieces you like and resonate with you and encourage your own personal values. And consider, get deep, get into your own values and goals. And is that really what you want, or are you doing something just because somebody else is? So it's about, and I've got that image here of a mirror, and it's about reflecting and considering what have you done for you lately, worth really strongly considering that. So we have a vehicle going by with the beeps. I have to keep soldiering on. Now, proactive health habits. I almost feel like this is probably the most important of all. And that is, you won't reach your goal if you go at it too hard and don't look after your health. So I've had the awesome privilege earlier this year of sitting up the back of a room while past HSC students of Coonabarabran High spoke to the current Year 12 students. And this was their week 2 of embarking into Year 12. And those young adults spoke of the importance of a routine of engaging in regular exercise, taking time to connect with friends, relaxing and having fun, of seeking help when they had anxiety problems. So many awesome tips about healthy habits and what awesome and wise young people they were. So no matter what your goal is, you need to consider taking time for exercise. Now, this picture here is, I live on a bush block. So that's a path, one of the many paths that I can take for a walk or a run, depending on how I feel. And it's really, for me, often it has been in the past that exercise was something that I didn't have time for. I was too busy, when in fact it's just the worst thing. You won't reach your goals. You won't think clearly. Having exercise actually helps your brain. It helps your mind. So, and you'll get so much more done, even if it's a 10-minute walk out in the air. Whether it's raining, sunshine, get out there and do things and you will achieve more. So work out the strategy that will work for you. And I was always trying to get involved in something in town, and I live way out of town. And once I switched to just doing things at home, it then made it that I could do things earlier. I had 3 different circuits, so I could do a 10-minute one. I engaged in yoga and aqua aerobics. At the moment, I'm not doing yoga, and I certainly want to switch back into that. So I was using some of my bedtime stories at blame, excuse, denial, and of not having time, that I was out. So I needed to be actually taking on ownership, being accountable and being responsible for my own health habits. So I've used the term OARSOME, OAR. So that's ownership, accountability and responsibility for yourself. So not the normal awesome, but the OAR, SOME, and getting out of that bedtime story. So, even when it's raining, you can put on a raincoat and go for a walk. You really get going. So know your own boundaries as well. And that's if you are, you can have something that's an issue at the moment. So earlier on, I had tendonitis in my ankles, so couldn't actually get out to do the running. So seek the right advice. I was doing my own exercises and doing it the wrong way, so I found out. So work on the alternative exercises, but keep it happening. So instead of going for a run, do other things so you can work it out where it is you need to be. So that's it. Proactive health habits. They're the foundation for everything, but importantly for reaching your goal. So action. Whoops, we've slipped a slide somehow. There we go. So vision without action is just a daydream. So it's about setting a sense of urgency, a date, taking that first step, have a plan of action, and taking that first step is really so. It's that getting out of bed, for that walk, put a date on it, put a schedule on it. So that's where I needed that timetable for me. So have a plan and putting dates on it, and it could be setting the alarm. It's as simple as that for getting going. So it's actually taking the steps. So you can have all those other things, but you need to lock it in. So this was the update that I did way back in January, and I'd written it on 15th of February. So I'd got really well. I was right up to date for my the 20th. I was right on there, but in that last week I lost it. So I was right on track for the 23rd, and all of a sudden I dropped off. So did I achieve the outcome at that with my schedule? My goal was to get into good study habits, and I just flagged at that point. So it was when there was a series of webinars which take an hour. So there were 6 of them. I had a huge load, and then writing up the report. So a spot on date. My challenge came when my workload demands increased in urgency and I went on the road. So I was actually travelling, and I tried to do the webinars as I was on the road and found I couldn't. It was becoming quite stressful. And I didn't even meditate. So I lost a whole lot, because meditation's been another great thing that I've been doing as well. So this was it. It was about re-kicking back in. So I returned and got into the deep work of studying, blocking off time, not being connected, and postponed things, but I made it. So it's about reflecting on that too. So although you might have all those, I think I was missing having the people to sort of jog me along. So it was just me with some of my steps. So I really think that's an important thing to do, is to have them all, and have somebody accountable would really help. So that's it. We've got our 7 steps. Do you think they'll work for you? Personally, I think yes, and I need to work on another goal and step in. So I'm going to be doing that, working through another set of steps, getting things going for a big goal that I want to achieve. You need that positive talk, I think, self-talk. I think it's a foundation of it all. And really, tell yourself from the start that you're going to reach your final goal. The visualisation of prompts such as diary dates, positive affirmation, reminders, even coloured sticky notes around. Could even be something on the fridge that no one else knows, but that'll remind you. You need that mental food to help you be inspired and give you some zeal, so enthusiasm and energy. And sometimes, reading, getting some useful things and TED Talks and all sorts of things. So worthwhile checking out people's blogs. And I chose books in this case, but there's all sorts. Surrounding yourself with positive people, the encouragers, is an awesome help. Get those people, seek them out and connect with those. Proactive development is all about you, your values, and investing in you. So connect with the coach if you need to be. Your goal is worth it, and most certainly you are worth it. So do get into that proactive development. Get those healthy habits happening all around. They'll help in so many ways. And then action. Put it into action. So as I said earlier, all these steps are not really more important than each other. They are all equal, but they're all steps along your journey to achieving your goal. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank my Life Coaching Academy for the inspiration, and to Deb Hands, who's been a coach of mine and one of our instructors. It's been awesome getting through that. So achieved a whole lot of goals recently. And Rebel Black, I've shared her vision board, also part of the Rural Woman, and a great role model and an amazing woman who's inspiring, connecting a whole lot of rural women. And for being a part of this webinar. So next week we have, I'm presenting about deep work, which I mentioned today, and looking at focusing on 4 rules. So in half an hour, you're really going to get a digest of the amazing work of Cal Newport and about being really focused. We live in such a distracted world with engaged interactions and like social media, but emails, phone calls, and we really don't concentrate well. And that was certainly something that I found a huge help to getting me focused and staying focused. And it's something to keep practicing with. So that's certainly something I'm pulling together a course to help, because I think it needs ongoing reminders. And then the week after that, we're having a fun guest speaker. We've got Cheyenne O'Brien, who's from the Warrumbungle. She's a road safety officer. And we've got an exciting thing happening for Bike Week. It's coming up in September, and we're leading into that. It doesn't start until about the 16th of September, but there's a whole lot of stuff that's happening statewide. So we're going to share that. And Girl Guides are doing an awesome, exciting project with a QR code challenge in with the Shire and for Bike Week. So we're going to share some of that. It's an exciting thing that we're working on. We did it last year as well. And we've got, I think I've missed a slide. Yes, there is a whole blog page that I've got on my website, and it's called Making It Happen blog, and there's a whole lot of more resources from our session today that you can look at a bit more with the 7 steps of intention. So, hoping you've enjoyed that. And we're almost at time. So I hope you have learnt a lot, and that you've given you some new ideas. You've possibly got more of your own that could tie in with all those 7 steps. And wishing you a fantastic day and achieving your goals.